part of the law. But what I see sometimes that some of us, even though we shout Biafra, Biafra, we don't believe that Biafra is going to come. Because if you believe that Biafra is coming, you have to be mindful of what you say. Hold your facts. Don't just open your mouth and speak because you want to speak. I thank God today that many people are doing their corrections. Many people that has conscience are making corrections. In false accusation, more especially the false accusations against our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi, they are enormous. Many people have openly apologized. And the record is there. And those who are still deepening themselves in the destruction are still there. And we are keeping records. This is a very interesting time. The moment of truth. The moment of truth. And we must never forget this very interesting moment. So today, on this topic that we are discussing, we are going to try as much as possible to elaborate on this topic, so that the world will understand what we are saying. And so those who are watching will also be able to put one or two together and understand where we are coming from. Because it is not enough to shout and shout and shout. At the end of the day, nothing is understood. The most important thing we do is to make sure that our audience is following us closely and understanding every single point we are making here, to make sure that the cause of the Biafra agitation is promoted wherever you are watching from across the world. I appreciate you and I thank you for joining us today, whether you are watching from Africa, Europe, North America, Asia, Australia, or anywhere else in the world. I sincerely appreciate your time. It is not easy giving out your time, even if it's a second. It matters a lot. Time is money, more especially when you're living abroad. Don't forget, today's discussion concerns a subject that has attracted considerable public attention among supporters of and observers of the Biafran self-determination. This topic has a lot to do with us in this self-determination journey. Our objective today is not to tell anyone what to think. As I always tell you, my objective in this platform is not to direct you or tell you what to think. Rather, it is to encourage careful reflection on history, on leadership, internal disagreements, human rights, and the role that dialogue can play whenever movement experiences internal differences. As with many political and social movements around the world, people often disagree over leadership, over strategy, over priorities, over method. Disagreement is something that you cannot avoid. It is always there in every organization across the world, not just with the IPOB, not just with the Biafra agitator and self-determination journey. No. Such disagreements are not unique to one movement or one country. Everywhere, people get into disagreements at one point or the other. History shows that they occurred in civil rights movements, independent movements, labor movements, democratic reform campaign, and many other organizations across the world. Disagreements is always there. So it is not just about the Biafra agitation. That is why sometimes when people begin to make some instances like those who feel that we are not one, we are not yet united, that Biafra is not united until we are united before we can be free. These things, these differences and misunderstandings are always there. Disagreement will always be. You can't avoid it. Even in United Nations, there is disagreement tomorrow. EU, there is disagreement. African Union, there is disagreement. Down to family, there are disagreements. Today we will examine those issues through a broader historical lens. That is what we do. When internal disagreements happen, every moment begins with shared objectives. Every moment, every movement begins with shared objectives. Over time, however, differences naturally emerge. People may disagree over leadership structure, organizational accountability, communication, negotiation, public messaging, legal strategy, internal engagement, priorities. These can cause disagreements. These are areas people can disagree at all times. These differences do not automatically mean one side is entirely right and another entirely wrong. No. Often they reflect different judgment about how best to pursue similar long-term goals. It only gives opportunity for broader arguments. For people to be able to judge rightfully. Have different judgment about how to pursue similar terms in long-term goals. And when you consider all, you can be able to make a right choice. History demonstrates that disagreement within movements can arise from personality, ideology, strategy, and changing circumstances. These differences can always be there. Understanding those dynamics is essential for anyone seeking to understand political movements objectively. Human rights movements objectively. Self-determination movement objectively. For you to be able to understand properly those dynamics. You must be able to look into personalities, ideologies, strategies, and changing circumstances. Know that there will be differences in these based on individuals. And when you have that understanding of those dynamics, it's essential for anyone seeking understanding so that you can be able to do things right. Focusing mainly on the Biafran self-determination now. The Biafra question has a long history that predates the present day. Its roots lie in historical events surrounding Nigerian independence, ethnic tensions, political instability, the events leading to the Nigerian Civil War, and the humanitarian crisis that follows. Many people continue to hold different views about the events that happened during the Civil War. Some emphasize on historical grievances, others emphasize national unity. Still, others focus primarily on constitutional reform, federalism, and human rights. Understanding diversity of perspectives is important when discussing any contemporary developments. We must be open to listening. We must be open to dialogue. We must be open to reason with others and allow independent minds to speak. Leadership is often one of the most challenging aspects of any movement you can ever think of. Public discussion have involved organizations such as IPOB, the Indigenous People of Biafra, the Directorate of State, DOS, and BRIGI, along with public figures, including Mazi Nnamdi and Mazi Ekpa'S. The IPOB, the DOS, the BRIGI, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Sama, this is one body with little differences and understandings and way of doing things. But it is time for us to find a common ground. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have made a major step, have taken a major move for reconciliation and unity to find a common ground to pursue our common interests. Different supporters have expressed different opinions regarding leadership, legitimacy, organizational structure, and strategy. This is the battle that is within us today in this struggle. The battle is on. And I thank you for the leadership we have. The supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have taken a bold step to unify every one of us. Personally, I have never had a doubt one day that our family, where we belong, is IPOB. You can have your own mushroom group. There is nothing wrong in it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu recognizes everybody. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not say, oh, close all agitating group and come into one. No. If you have a mushroom group where you feel your own voice will be heard, a place you think you understand the opinion and ideology can go along with you, you are free to be there. But while you are there, pursue self-determination, which is our major unity of purpose, where we gather. And always remember that the family is IPOB. That is our foundation. It is IPOB that gave birth to every single group we are talking about today. You can think about IPOB gave birth to it. Majority, if not all, majority of the groups you see today were giving birth to IPOB. So IPOB is something that is called an obi. There's something they call an obi in Igbo language. An obi, you don't sell it. You don't sell it. You cannot sell an obi. You don't do it. That is what IPOB is. That is our foundation where we all belong. And anybody that is seeing IPOB as a threat, I'm sorry, you are not in the right path. You are not in the struggle. When you hear that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have recovered IPOB, when you hear instruction coming from the new DOS, and you see it as a threat, you are not on the right path. Check yourself again and walk away from that group. Any group that sees the IPOB as a threat is not fighting for freedom. Our Prime Minister Mazi Nnamdi will tell you the same thing. Because the problem Mazi Nnamdi had initially was this very department of saboteurs that we are sacked. The ex-DOS, we are the major problem that Mazi Nnamdi saw. And he called them out. And we conducted a vote of no confidence, pushed them aside. And because they continued to damage the name and continue to frustrate the name, Mazi Nnamdi left the name for them and went ahead to create Biafra government in exile. And went ahead to continue to pursue the restoration of Biafra without being stopped. These issues have generated considerable debates, both online and offline. Debates between the same family. Some talk about the DOS, talk about the Briggy, talk about the IPOB. We are one body, we are one people. And the earlier you realize it, the earlier you understand it, the better. Now that the criminals have been sent out, now that the criminals who created the problem for the first time, who drove Mazi Nnamdi to extreme, now that they have been shown the door out, it is time you retrace your source. Retrace your source and begin to do things right. Don't see your brother as an enemy. Don't see IPOB as a threat. Do not see IPOB as a threat. That is our family. That's where we belong. Regardless the mushroom group where you belong, you are free. You are entitled to be there as long as you are genuinely pursuing the self-determination of the Biafra people. Go ahead. After all, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, whatever you will do to bring Biafra, go ahead and do it. And today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is working with different organizations that are for self-determination, not just IPOB. He acknowledged the avid, he acknowledged the ambassadors of self-determination, he acknowledged the rising sun. And these are different groups acknowledged by him. He never told them, oh, cease to answer your name. Go now and begin to answer IPOB. Oh, I don't want to answer them because you're answering a different name. You're not going to work. No, that is not it. And every one of them is working with Mazi Nnamdi maturely, focusing on the area they are very good at. Most of them are very silent, but they are doing great job on the ground. Most of them are silent, but they are doing a lot of job diplomatically that you can't even imagine. It is important to distinguish between verified facts, public stated position, and allegation or opinion. Very important. For all of us that are in this struggle, more especially those that come out to broadcast and speak on the public, it is important to distinguish between verified facts, publicly stated position, and allegation or opinion. Doing so promotes informed discussion and reduces misunderstanding among us all. We are in a very interesting time. And I thank Chukwu Okike Abiama that I'm alive to see today. One recurring lesson from history is that dialogue often plays an important role when organizations experience internal disagreements. History has shown us that dialogue often plays an important role when organizations experience internal disagreements. Dialogue does not necessarily mean everyone will agree. Dialogue does not necessarily mean everyone will agree. Rather, it provides an opportunity to clarify misunderstandings, identify shared objectives, reduce tensions, improve communication, strengthen trust where possible. So most of the time when we talk about dialogue, some people misunderstand it, some people misinterpret it, but I put it clearly, make it clearer to you, that dialogue does not necessarily mean everyone will agree. That will never happen, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Rather, it provides an opportunity to clarify misunderstandings. There are many misunderstandings that are very simple. They are misunderstanding because people have not been clarified. It has not been discussed. So dialogue, clarify misunderstandings, identify shared objectives, reduce tension, improve communication, strengthen trust where possible. That is why it is important. Mazi Nnamdi have kept the ball rolling. First of all, he introduced the 100 men, comprising of all Biafran agitators. 100 men, comprising of all Biafran agitators. And he went ahead to rescue the IPOB, our family, where we belong, and chose a new HOD, Mazi Chris Mogu. The least we could do is to support him, not to attack it. The least we could do is to support him and not to attack him. And while we are supporting him, we support him with all our hearts, while our eyes will be open, with our mind, still having our critical thinking and independent mind to see things when it is going wrong. Supporting doesn't mean we follow sheepishly. It doesn't mean we will not think. It doesn't mean we will not evaluate. We will. But first thing first, obey the instruction that is coming from the Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi and support the initiative he has introduced, which only objectives is meant to bring us together as one, under one umbrella, and let people have focus. Because after the departure of Mazi Nnamdi, the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi and Mazi Samariba detention, everything was scattered. We lost direction. People were seeking for direction. Many people lost direction, and many people even stopped talking about Biafra. And Mazi Nnamdi has ignited the fire again. The least you could do is to support it. History offers many examples in which sustained dialogue help organizations navigate period of disagreement. In other cases, division remain unresolved demonstrating that dialogue is not a guarantee of consensus, but can nevertheless contribute to peaceful engagement. We know there are people who will never agree. There are people who, it doesn't matter what you do, they will never agree. But there is need for that engagement to begin. There's need. Because that engagement, once the engagement is on, it will reduce tension. It will reduce tension and people will be more focused. Understanding will grow more. Regardless of political view, principles such as due process, fair trial, freedom of expression, and peaceful assembly are recognized in international human rights instruments. We must always think of fair trials, due process. Fair trial, not just on the case of our leaders, within ourselves. So many times we don't treat ourselves fairly. People are not allowed to express themselves freely. People are not allowed to have peaceful assembly. These are human rights instruments that we must imbibe and have within us at all times. The reason Mazi Nnamdi was blackmailed, castigated, Mazi Nnamdi was demonized, was because there was no fair trial. Even among the Biafrans, Ohaneze Ndohinandama judged him and they put bounty on Mazi Nnamdi, an innocent man. Ohaneze Ndohinandama believed the lies of the Department of Saboteur. The Department of Saboteur created false flag. They created false flag as an evidence against Mazi Nnamdi. There was no fairness. Nobody was able to hear. Nobody was reaching out to hear the truth. Even when we speak, they don't want to hear. Some of them today that have finally realized their mistake and apologize. At that time, they did not even want to hear reasons. And the reason most of them were out of the picture is because they could not dialogue. They could not engage with us. Those of us who might have they can't engage with us. They told them not to watch our videos, not to watch the video of Mazi Nnamdi. They were barred from listening. And some of them ignorantly obeyed them. So when you don't listen to the message of Mazi Nnamdi, how are you going to hear his explanation? When you don't listen to the message of those of us in autopilot, then how can you get the explanation of what is happening? That was how they pushed that they are evil and it was working for them. Public discussion concerning detained political figures often raise questions about legal proceedings and human rights. And we have seen it today on Mazi Nnamdi and Mazi Nnamdi. Their right has been abused. Right, left, and center. Observers may hold different opinions about particular cases, but discussion benefits from focusing on verified information, applicable legal principle rather than speculations. Today, there are so many speculations, more especially in the case of Mazi Nnamdi. You see some people coming out to issue threats and issue statements, Mazi Nnamdi said, even when they know that the statement they are making has nothing to add to the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi. Instead, what they are saying is discouraging people from supporting Mazi Nnamdi release. You just want to make a statement. You just want to say it simply because you want to feel involved. You want to make people feel that you have information. So many of us online, we have more information than you can ever have, but you can't see me discuss them. There are several informations that will attract attention, that will attract views. But after that, what next? Is it beneficial to the struggle? Is it beneficial to our Prime Minister release? Is it beneficial to Mazi Nnamdi release? That is what you ask before you release any information. What is the benefit of that information? Is it going to create unity or division? Is it going to make people trust us or look down on us? How is the message you are preaching affecting the struggle? Have you ever asked yourself? What you are saying online, how does it affect the struggle? Will somebody listen to you and say, because of what this guy is saying, I think Biafra can be given a chance? Or will somebody say, if it is because of this kind of people, never ever, I will not support? How many people have been convinced because of your message? And how many people have walked away from the struggle because of your message? Do you sit back and take a roll call? Or you just focus on go on without even reading? You don't even look. You don't even care. You focus on praises that is coming from your comment section, praises of people you have not even met, people that are not even genuine, people that mislead you, people that don't have critical thinking. It is better to engage with people that argue with you so that the best of you can come out, not the oh yes member. When you are in a place where you are the champion, you are as good as nothing. It is better you be in a place where people compete. There are people who are better than you, who you can compete with, who you can learn from. But some of us, since they shower praises on you, you are just there and you spill lies, promote evil. You don't even care to verify. As long as he brings view to you. As long as it's where the crowd is, you follow them. History contains numerous examples of movements that experience internal disagreements. In different countries and in different times, movements have debated whether to negotiate, whether to pursue legal strategy, how leadership should be organized, how decisions should be communicated, how to engage internal actors. These debates illustrate the disagreement itself is not unusual. Disagreement is not unusual. It's bound to be disagreement at all time, at every given point in time. The long-term outcome often depends on how disagreements are managed. Managing the disagreements, that is where the problem lies. And today, we are in an interesting time. We are in an interesting time. For any movement, questions that are often raised for any movement, including our agitation that we are in today, in Biafra self-determination agitation. Questions that are often raised include, how can differing viewpoints be discussed respectfully? These are questions you have to sit back, answer it for yourself, independently as an independent person, with your own mind, thinking critically. Do not attach group mentality when you're answering these questions. Answer it as an individual. How can offering viewpoints be discussed respectfully